everyone, in this video I am going to discuss William Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night. It is published in 1602. Twelfth Night is a fast-paced romantic comedy with several interconnected plots of romance, mistaken identities and practical jokes written by William Shakespeare. This story takes place in Illyria, Italy. The main character is named Viola. Before the play begins, there is a terrible storm, and Viola and her twin brother Sebastian are in a shipwreck. Both Viola and Sebastian believe their twin died in the storm, but both they saved by different people. At the beginning of the play, Viola is afraid to live alone in the world as a woman, so she decides to disguise herself as a young man. She calls herself Cesario. Viola goes to the Duke of Illyria, Orsino, to look for work as a musician. She soon finds out that Orsino is in deep love with Lady Olivia. But Olivia does not. Viola offers Orsino to impress Olivia for him. Orsino happily agrees to Viola's plan, and Lady Olivia hesitates to meet in person. Many men are trying to marry her, but none are able to meet her because she is in another state of mind, as her brother just died, so she is depressed and refuses to see anyone. Viola is lucky, however, because Olivia is curious to meet the pretty young boy at her gate. Olivia lets Viola in and soon falls in love with her because she thinks Viola is a young man, Cesario. Viola doesn't know what to do. She cannot tell anyone that she is really a woman. While Olivia is falling in love with Viola, means Cesario, Viola is falling in love with her master Duke Orsino. Of course, Duke Orsino doesn't know that Viola loves him. He thinks she is a young man, Cesario. Viola tries to give him hints that she really loved him, but the Duke doesn't understand her hints. Now Viola is stuck in a love triangle. In a different part of Illyria, Sebastian and his friend Antonio are looking for Viola. Sebastian is afraid that she drowned in the storm. Antonio wants to help him but is afraid of being arrested by Duke Orsino. He is an enemy of the Duke. Antonio and Sebastian go separate ways. Antonio finds Viola, but he doesn't recognize her because she is dressed as a young man. He thinks she is Sebastian and becomes very mad because he thinks Sebastian is pretending not to know him. That's when the Duke Orsino's soldiers arrest Antonio. Eventually, everyone starts confusing Sebastian and Viola, who dressed as a young man, Cesario. They are twins after all and look alike when they are both dressed as men. Olivia ends up marrying Sebastian when she really wanted to marry Viola, means Cesario. The Duke gets very mad because he thinks Viola married the woman he loves, Olivia. Finally, Sebastian and Viola find each other, and Viola shows the rest of the world that she is truly a woman. Now that they all know she is a woman, Olivia and Duke Orsino understand why Viola, means Cesario, had been acting so strange. Olivia understands why Viola wouldn't return her love, and the Duke Orsino admits to loving Viola, and they too get married. It is a happy ending for almost everyone. Now the question arises that it is a romantic comedy. So let's see a romantic comedy by Shakespeare. It is a combination of romance and comic elements. Twelfth Night is one such example. Shakespeare skillfully mingles these two ingredients, romantic and comic, in his comedy Twelfth Night. These two ingredients do not seem to have been artificially brought together. Their blending does not strike a discordant note in the play. In Twelfth Night, we find an abundance of comedy and also have a substantial romantic content. Both these ingredients have been brought into a close relationship with each other. The word romance in general means love between man and woman, but it has certain other meanings also. Romance includes any kind of favor and any deep sentiment. And Twelfth Night, the friendship of Antonio and Sebastian is definitely romantic. The word romance also implies danger, adventure, and heroic spirit. Anything thrilling or sensational is romance, and this too we find in the play. And we also find realism and romance, a harmonious combination of romantic and realistic elements. Romance and realism are actually not antithetical terms. There is much in romance that is realistic, and there is much in reality that can be called romantic. The play is realistic by virtue of its portrayal of characters and its representation of human nature, human behavior, and human relations. The mingling of romantic with the realistic element is an obvious fact because they are interactions of these characters with improbable events and situations. Some of the essential traits of human nature also receive the emphasis which they deserve. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening so carefully.